Hello guys, I am really thrilled to show you this new model Cerebrum 8 into 7 billion. This model is based on Cerebrum 7 billion which I covered a few weeks back I guess, and also on Mixtral 8 into 7 billion model. Cerebrum 8 into 7 billion is an LLM created specifically for reasoning tasks, and I believe that the performance of this model on reasoning tasks is at the top among various other top models. As I said, it is also a mixture of expert model based on Mixtral 8 into 7 billion. A mixture of expert model is a machine learning approach that involves a collection of individual models known as experts, each specialized in making predictions on a subset of the data. The decision on which expert to consult for a given input is typically managed by a gating mechanism that weights the contribution of each expert based on the input. The final output is a combination of the expert's prediction weighted by the gating mechanism's decision. This architecture allows the model to leverage specialized knowledge from each expert for more accurate and nuanced predictions across diverse set of data. This Cerebrum 8 into 7 billion is just like Cerebrum 7 billion is a fine tuned on a small custom data set of native chain of thought data and further improved with targeted RLHF, which is tRLHF as a short, and that is a new technique for sample efficient LLM alignment. Unlike numerous other recent fine tuning approaches, the training pipeline of this model also includes under 5,000 training prompts and even fewer labeled data points for this targeted RLHF. Native chain of thought approach here means that Cerebrum is trained to devise a tactical plan before tackling problems that require thinking. For brainstorming, knowledge intensive, and creative tasks, Cerebrum will typically omit unnecessary verbose consideration. This has already been tested with various other models and it has already performed quite nicely when it compares to Gemini 1 Pro and GPT 3.5 Turbo on a range of reasoning tasks. And I will drop the model code of this model in video description, and you can see this benchmark. For example, this is what I was talking about around the performance of Cerebrum. As you can see at the top in this table, it is quite good if you compare it to Gemini Pro, GPT 3.5, and even Mixtral 8 into 7 billion. Look at the performance on math, and then GSM 8K human eval, also on the this ArcC. So on most of the benchmark, it has performed quite nicely. Okay, enough theory. Let's see how can we get it installed locally on Windows system, and then let's test it out on the various reasoning tasks. Let's get started. Now, I'll be using LM Studio for this video. In order to use it, simply go launch the LM Studio, and if you don't know what LM Studio is, I have various videos on my channel where I go into the detail. Launch LM Studio, then make sure you are on the latest version. Just click on check for updates, and as I am on the latest version, which is 2.17, type Cerebrum here, press enter, and you can see that this is where the 8 into 7 billion GGUF which we need to download, that is a quantized one. I already have downloaded it to save time. Let's click on these three dots and let's load the model. I have one GPU of around 16 GB of VRAM and my memory is 32 GB. So make sure you have that much um, GPU resources in order to get this model running uh, in a proper way. Now let's give it one of the first reasoning task. Now in this one I'm asking it that a self-driving car must choose between swerving to avoid hitting a pedestrian, potentially harming the passenger, or staying its course. Discuss the ethical consideration from both perspectives. Let's see what sort of reasoning it does. You see, it is just starting from the start in a typical reasonable way. It has discussed the first angle and then it is going to the other angle on the flip side, and then also has given the summary in a very concise way. No verbosity, no long, tall words, just simple, plain logic and reason. So it has given the First perspective, that from this angle one might argue that it is our moral duty as human to prioritize human life or property. On the other hand, we must consider the flip side. What if swerving puts the passenger at risk? Perhaps they are more vulnerable due to age or disability. In this case, prioritizing their safety might mean staying on course. It could be seen as form of utilitarianism, balancing the needs and risk for all. How awesome is that? This is simply out of this world. In summary, ethical consideration must balance protecting life with minimizing harm. Very nicely put. And then it has also has mentioned the complexity here. So very finely put. And now I'm going to test out this model on various types of reasoning. Let's check out the casual reasoning first. In this one, I'm asking the model that if plant A thrives on in cold climates and plant B withers away in cold climate, what would happen to plant B if it were suddenly moved from a warm climate to the cold climate? Let's see how it reasons. So let's wait for it to finish printing it and then we will read through. Now look at the response. It is saying let's consider the scenario where plant B is moved from a warm to cold. In this case, we can expect the change of environment may not be favorable for plant B due to its inability. It could struggle. However, without more specific information about plant species, it is difficult to make a definite prediction. The response seems somewhat incomplete that it does not fully consider plant B's potential. That is very good, very careful response. Totally reasonable. Okay, let's um, start out with another reasoning test where we'll be testing the logical reasoning. So I'm saying that there are three light switches outside a closed room. One switch turns on a light inside the room while others do nothing. You can flip any switch you want but can enter the room only once to see the light. How can you determine which switch controls the light? Let's see what it does. Let's see. Look at the reasoning of this model. How it is doing the chain of thought, going step by step, step by step. So what it is doing here is it seems it is using process of elimination. It is saying sure we need to figure out a way to identify which switch turns. So it first understand the question. Then it says turn on one of the switches and leave it for some time. This will ensure that the bulb is heated up. After a few minutes, turn off the switch and quickly turn on another switch while the first one is still cooling, heating up. The new switch being turned on now should be responsible for lighting in the room. Since we know that the other switch isn't doing anything as its bulb is either already heated or cooled. Wow. Enter the room and turn off this identified light switch and then flip another switch of your choosing. How cool is that? So it has followed the process of elimination quite nicely. Very impressive. Now, let's check out the deductive reasoning. I'm asking it, all birds can fly. A penguin is a bird. Can a penguin fly? Explain your reasoning. So let's see how it does the deductive reasoning. Let's wait for it to print the response. Now, if you look at this one, it says that, sorry, let me go up a little. It says the statement that all birds can fly and information about penguins do not necessarily guarantee that all birds are the same. Awesome. While the generalization that all birds can fly is a useful shorthand, it may not apply universally. The response provides a nuanced view by acknowledging the initial statement but nothing its limitation. Very nice. That is great stuff. Now, let's check the inductive reasoning now. In the inductive reasoning, I'm asking it every day at noon, a train passes through a town at the same time. Today is Tuesday and it is noon. Will the train pass through the town? Justify your answer. And it has correctly identified in this inductive reasoning and it has induced the answer yes, that because it is passing every day, it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday or not, it will pass through. Look at this. If you read through it, it's spot on. Now let me do problem solving reasoning. In this one, I'm asking it, um, you have a 5 liter jug and you need to measure exactly 4 liters of water using only these two jugs. How would you do it? Let's see. Okay, now in this one, we are saying that to measure out 4 liter of water with 5 liter jug, the 3 liter jug, we could follow the procedure. Fill up the 5-liter jug completely, pour as much water from the 5-liter jug, empty the contents, fill up the 3-liter jug, and so the idea here is that it goes step by step in, deduces it, and then reasons about it. So in all of these inferences, you can see that these prompts were designed to test various types of reasoning, including understanding cause and effect, solving logical puzzles, making deductions, drawing inductive conclusions from observation, and devising solutions to a problem with constraints. And that is what it has done in all the cases. Pretty cool. I would say that, one of the best models so far I have seen in terms of reasoning. Very impressed by it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, then please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.